Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are digging into a super important piece of bike maintenance. Seriously, getting this right is going to make your rides feel amazing, smoother, quieter, and it'll make those pricey parts on your bike last a whole lot longer.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that might blow your mind. A neglected chain, dirty, rusty, it can steal up to 30% of your power. That's insane. Think about it. That's nearly a third of your effort just vanishing into that gunk. So here's how we're going to get you from grimy to gleaming. We'll look at the problem, figure out when to clean, go through 4 different ways to do it, master the art of lubrication, and then wrap up with the big mistakes you definitely want to avoid.
All right, first things first, let's really get to know the enemy here. Because this isn't just about your bike looking a bit dirty. No, there's something way more destructive going on with every single turn of the pedals.
You know that black, sticky stuff all over your chain? That's not just old lubricant. Oh no. It mixes with all the dirt and sand from the trail erode and turns into this nasty stuff mechanics call abrasive paste. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically liquid sandpaper, just grinding down your expensive cassette and chain rings from the outside in.
Okay, so how often do you need to declare war on this abrasive paste? Well, it really depends on where you're riding and what the conditions are like. Timing is absolutely key. So take a look at this. It's pretty different depending on your bike. If you're on a mountain bike in dry weather, you're looking at about every 75 kilometers. For road bikes, you can stretch that to maybe 150. But here's the kicker. Look at the wet conditions column. For both bikes, it's after every single ride. That's right, water and mud are the real killers. But hey, who's counting every kilometer, right? There's a much easier way. Just use your eyes. Look down at your chain. Does it look like a piece of shiny metal, or does it look like a black, greasy mess? If it's the greasy mess, yep, it's time to clean. Okay, so you've looked down, you've seen the gunk, and it's decision time. Let's dive into the 4 main ways you can tackle this job, from a super quick wipe to a full-on deep scrub. First up, method number 1, the quick wipe down. This is your go-to, your first line of defense. It's perfect for right after a dry ride just to get that surface dust off. It literally takes a minute. But, and this is a big but, remember you're only cleaning the outside. The real damage, the grit inside the rollers, is still there. So, to get a bit more serious, you gotta bring in the degreaser. This is method 2. You basically spray or brush on a bike-specific degreaser and just let it sit for a few minutes. You'll see it start to just melt that nasty paste away. Then you rinse it off really well with water. It's way more effective, for sure, but the key is you have to get it totally dry when you're done. All right, method 3 is for when you want that chain sparkling like new. I'm talking about the deep clean. This means you actually take the chain off the bike and give it a full-on bath in a jar of degreaser. Yeah, it takes a little more time and you'll need a tool for it, but trust me, there is no better way to get every single speck of grit out. The results are just pristine. And that brings us to method 4, which is kind of the best of both worlds, the chain cleaner tool. These little gadgets are brilliant. You just snap it onto the chain, fill it with degreaser, and spin your pedals backwards. Inside, there are all these little brushes scrubbing away. You get that deep clean result, but without ever having to take the chain off the bike. Super convenient. But hold on, we're not done yet. Cleaning is only half the job. A sparkling clean chain with no lube on it is just gonna rust and wear out super fast. So let's get into the most critical final step, the art of lubrication. First thing you gotta figure out is what kind of lube to use. For those dry, dusty summer days, you want a dry lube. It goes on wet but dries to a waxy film that doesn't attract a bunch of dirt. For wet, muddy, or even snowy rides, you need a wet lube. It stays liquid, it's a bit stickier, but it does a fantastic job of keeping water out. And then you've got wax, which is a whole other level. A bit more work to put on, but it gives you a super hard, dry, and unbelievably clean chain. Now, before you even open that bottle, I want you to burn this into your brain. This is the golden rule. Lubricant belongs inside the chain, not on the outside. We're not trying to make the outside plates look shiny. The whole point is to get that lube down into the little rollers and pins. That's where metal is grinding on metal. Okay, so here's exactly how you do it. It's a process. You take your bottle and put 1 single drop on top of each and every roller. Then slowly turn the pedals backwards a few times to let it all sink in. And now, for the step that almost everyone gets wrong or just skips, take a clean rag and wipe off all of the extra lube from the outside of the chain. Seriously, wipe it like you're trying to take it all off. Any lube on the outside is just going to become a sticky magnet for more dirt. All right, you're on the home stretch. Your chain is clean. It's perfectly lubed. But don't celebrate just yet. There are a few classic blunders that can completely ruin all of your hard work in a heartbeat.
So listen up. These are the big ones to avoid. Number 1, do not, under any circumstances, use something like WD-40 as a chain lube. It's not a lubricant, it's a solvent. It actually strips the oil out. Number 2, be super, super careful not to get a single drop of lube or degreaser on your brake rotors. It will contaminate your pads and you'll lose your braking power. That's why drip bottles are so much better than sprays. And number 3, I'm going to say it one more time because it's that important, wipe off the excess lube.
And that's it. That's the whole process. And what's the payoff? For 15 minutes of your time? You get a bike that feels brand new. The drivetrain is going to be whisper quiet, the shifting will be crisp and smooth, and all those expensive parts are going to last so much longer. It's just a happier bike.
So, you did it. You put in the effort, you've earned that amazing feeling. With your bike running like an absolute dream, there's really only one question left to ask, right? Where are you going to ride next?